So the question is, are you sick and tired of having to reseed every fall? Are you sick and tired of having to water nonstop all summer long? Are you sick and tired of having to apply fungicides on a routine basis? I know people that apply that stuff, fungicides, every other week, all summer long. Are you sick and tired during the spring having to mow every other day because of the rapid growth? Are you sick and tired of not having availability of herbicides to be able to take out unwanted grasses such as, Bermuda, taking out Bermuda in your fescue, maybe Dallas grass, poa annua, poa triv, the herbicides available to use that in fescue or bluegrass or rye are just super limited. If you have dogs or animals or kids, are you sick and tired of the dog or the kids just tearing up the yard because it just cannot withstand the foot traffic and it just getting obliterated? And last but not least, are you sick and tired of spending tons of money on a yard simply to have to redo all the same things over the next year that you just did and were not successful? Well, if you fit into that category, then this video might be for you. I'm going to go over the things you need to know if you currently have a cool season lawn. Golly, I can't believe I said it. If you have a cool season yard, this is a yard, not a lawn. I don't even know who in the world come up with the word lawn. If you have cool season turf, fescue, rye, bluegrass, and you are considering the possibility of converting over to a warm season turf, this video is going to be for you, because I'm going to tell you the details you need to know before you actually make that conversion. There are some things you're going to have to know and be aware of. So before we dig into that, number one, I changed the name of the channel GCI Turf and Tee, like a golf tee you put in the ground. We're going to do some golf stuff, kind of blended in here and there. And I just uploaded kind of the first official video of that, so go back in my channel. It's just the one right before this video you're watching, and watch that. Me and Jax go out and play 9, and somebody shot 600. I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody did. You have to go watch the video and find out. But the golf GCI Turf and Tee kind of plays into the second announcement as well. Tammy and I, praise the Lord, this is just a straight up God thing. We got some more land, and I'm going to do a specific detailed video on that to tell you kind of the story, where we're moving and all that kind of thing. So that'll be coming up, I don't know, next month or so. I'll get some time to do that. But I will say that piece of property is going to absolutely blow your socks off, what I do with that. I'm not going to give you any details right now. You have to wait and watch the land video, or whatever I call it. We got new land or something like that. You'll know when it's up. I've just got some ideas out there. It's going to melt your mind what I'm going to do. All these boys on YouTube talking about golf course yard and got putting greens in their yard. I'm telling you, you ain't seen nothing yet. You just wait till I get my hands on that dirt and get to working it, and I'm going to show you something. You just have to wait and see. So for now, here's the deal. If you're considering switching over to a warm season grass from cool season turf, there's a few things you need to know. Number one, the single most important thing you need to know is, in an established warm season turf, I'm specifically talking about Bermuda or Zoysia. Okay, I don't do centipede. We don't have any centipede around here that I know of. We don't do, what's that one, seashore paspalum, I think is what they call it. We don't do any of that here. That Bahia grass, I think is another one. We don't have any of that here. And St. Augustine. You know how I feel about St. Augustine. It's the worst of the worst warm season. We don't have any of that around here. Okay, so we're taking all those out of the equation and we're simply talking about Bermuda, which is hands down my favorite warm season turf. You know, I manage acres and acres and acres and acres of athletic field turf, and it is just on fire right now. And the second warm season turf is zoysia grass. You don't see a lot of zoysia content on my channel simply because I don't take the time to go out to our clientele's yards and film in their yard. Number one, I ain't got their permission to do it. Number two, I don't have time. But we do manage some zoysia yards, and they look absolutely amazing right now. So keep that in mind. This is about Bermuda and zoysia. Number one thing you need to know and consider and keep in mind is when the frost comes in around here where I live, it's around November-ish, your warm season turf will begin to go dormant, meaning it will lose its color. Okay, it will look like this during the winter. This is what I call paper sack brown. This is my yard right here. You can see there's my house. This is my cool blue fescue bluegrass mix, and back there's the bluegrass. You can tell it's all been smoked off. It's history and gone right now. But your zoysia or Bermuda will look like this during the winter, all winter long. Okay, so I don't want you going into this, if you're gonna, think about making this switch. Oh, I'm gonna have a green yard during Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's Eve. You're not. You're going to have a brown yard. Now, if you live deep Texas, deep Florida, where frost is minimal and you don't really get frost, then you probably don't have to worry about that. But if you live anywhere in the country that it gets freezing cold, gets frost, during the fall and winter, and temperatures are cold, your turf is going to go dormant. Of course, you can rye overseed, and of course, you can paint it. I'm a big fan of painting it. So that's the way you mitigate against the brown grass in the winter, is you paint it or you rye overseed. Personally, I do not recommend rye overseeding zoysia. Not a huge fan of overseeding Bermuda with rye, but you can do it. I've got videos that talk about that. Go back and watch them. The number two thing you need to be aware of, and this is from an agronomic standpoint of growing the turf, is sunlight. Full-blown sunlight. The more sunlight, the better. Bermuda grass is going to need a tremendous amount of sunlight, like almost all day. I personally prefer, in a residential setting, about 8 hours, even 8 to 10 hours of full-blown sunlight during the heat of the summer. Like midsummer, when the days are the longest, you want 8 to 10 hours worth of full-blown, direct, hot, smoking sunlight on that turf, Bermuda. Zoysia, on the other hand, can tolerate some shade, okay? Can tolerate some shade. As far as, fertilizer, water input, mowing, the quick run around of that is both those turf types don't require a whole lot. Watering, zoysia may require a touch more water than Bermuda. Fertilization, zoysia requires just a little bit of nitrogen through the year, not much. Bermuda requires a little bit more. Mowing, zoysia is a very slow grower. It's not going to require a ton of mowing. Some of my zoysia clients mow their zoysia every 2 weeks. Yes, they go 14 days mow, wait 14 days mow, wait 14 days mow. And the grass does absolutely amazing. It's just a slow grower. Bermuda grass, on the other hand, is going to grow like a scalded dog. Yeah, during the middle of the summer, heat of the summer, it is going to grow rapidly. Now, obviously, you can do growth regulators and that kind of thing to slow it down, but that's for a different video. Believe me, you're going to see a ton of that kind of stuff in the future. Now, we're going to look at my yard in particular, and we're going to look at it, and I'm going to go through the process of explaining out, well, which one would I choose? Would I choose Bermuda or would I choose zoysia? Now, you have to keep in mind the stipulations I've said earlier in the video. So brown in the winter, I can live with that because I can paint it or I overseed it. No issues there. The other thing is shade. So we're going to look at my yard in particular, and we're going to go through the areas of the yard and look, and we're going to determine whether zoysia or Bermuda would best fit this yard. And that's going to be strictly based on shade. I've got plenty of fertilizer. I've got plenty of paint. I've got plenty of ryegrass. I've got plenty of water because my whole yard's irrigated. The only thing that I can't magically supply is sunlight, okay? See my big crepe myrtle right here? It creates a lot of shade right through here. And you can eat, well, you can't tell now, but I can tell. Even during the summertime, this fescue right through here kind of thins out during the summer. Okay, so that's one strike against Bermuda, 1+ for zoysia. By the way, we are absolutely loving this putting green. It is absolutely fantastic. If I had one suggestion on this, if you are planning on installing a synthetic putting green, don't install it next to trees. I mean, you have to blow these leaves off. I blow them off every time I mow. It's just kind of like blowing the driveway off. I come over here and blow it. So it's not a huge deal, but it's just a little extra work. But man, me and the boys and my wife and my daughter are absolutely loving this space right here. All right, second part of the yard right here. It's the exact same thing, which you can actually probably see it here. See how the turf is thinned out? See these dark areas? Well, that's dirt. And look how thin this area gets right here during the summer. It's because that tree is creating shade. There's not enough light getting to this area right here. So if I'm going to follow the contour of the beds I already have in place, this would be another point for zoysia and a negative for Bermuda. Now this is the case right here when you walk around the entire edge, okay? The entire edge, it gets a little bit thick, thin, thick, thin. Back here in this corner where it gets a little bit more shade, thin. All that is due to sunlight issues, okay? Has nothing to do with water, has nothing to do with nutrition. Well, I'll take it back because I have 100% totally and completely neglected everything about the yard this year. Everything. Just way too much time to play golf with Jax and Elijah and hanging out with the family. I just said, heck with the grass. Didn't do hardly anything. Well, not hardly anything. I didn't do anything to it this year. The irrigation is still winterized from the winter. Okay, so 100% total neglect. But that has nothing to do with this area being in the shade. It's shady. So that means 1 point zoysia, no points Bermuda. Keep on walking down through here. It's the same thing. Now this gets a little bit more sun because the sun comes up and goes over that way. So the sun's shining down on this area. So this section right here never really thins out. It's always that section over there, because when the sun gets right about there, all this is shaded over here. And the deeper you go toward the cryptomeria, the heavier the shade gets. Now we come back here, and you already know what I'm gonna say because I've said it, what, 3 times already? See my big cryptomeria and maple right here? This section from the edge of the bed about, I'm gonna say about 8 or 10 feet out roughly, from the time the sun comes up and goes over that way, morning sun is available right here. And you can see the sun right here. Afternoon sun is available right here. But during the entire course of the day, as that sun's making its way over, the entire course of the day, this whole area about 8 to 10 feet out is completely shaded by these cryptomeria and these my maple trees. And you can look right there and see how thick and dense that bluegrass is, or was. Well, it's still thick and dense. It's just dead bluegrass now. But that's why, because this area right here stayed shady, stayed cool, got just a little bit of morning sun, got just a little bit of afternoon sun. Perfect for the bluegrass, but not ideal for Bermuda. I do think Bermuda right in this area right here would thin out. It would probably look good the first year. Year number 2 is probably going to thin out. And then, you know, the objective is to have a nice thick stand of turf, right? So I don't think Bermuda would work all that great right here because of the sun. Now, everywhere else, all this out here in the open, ideal for Bermuda or zoysia. Come back over here in the fescue, everything out here in the wide open, ideal for Bermuda and zoysia, because like I said, full sun. You get over to the front yard, exact same thing. So really, if you're trying to decide on a warm season grass and you're on the fence between zoysia or Bermuda, the one single deciding factor you need to consider is sunlight. That's it. Really and truly, that is it. Kind of a side note, in the establishment of Bermuda and zoysia, water is very, very important. Both Bermuda and zoysia, you can get seed, sprigs, or sod, okay? You know what laying sod is. That's an established area of turf. They come in with a sod cutter, roll it up. You bring it out, roll it out on your yard like carpet, water aggressively, it roots, and you have a yard. Sprigs is basically sod that's been chopped up into little fine bits, so you can kind of spread it out with your hands. It's little pieces of grass that you just kind of spread out. Then you take some type of a roller and roll it in and press it down into the ground, kind of like seed to soil contact. Then you water aggressively. Bermuda and zoysia also come in seed. You know, I have the GCI Turf Alpha Elite seed. That you seed bed prep like any other thing. You spread the grass seed with a normal spreader like you would any other seed, and you water aggressively. The caveat is seed, sprigs, and sod, all of those for the first 30 days during establishment need a tremendous amount of water. You have to really, really keep the ground ultra moist, even to the point of being wet. But once it takes, it's game over. Lights out. So back to the shade, sun thing. You know, if I were at a client's yard and this was their yard, and we were going to convert it over to warm season grass, and they wanted my opinion on what grass would actually do better here, zoysia or Bermuda, based on me walking around showing you these areas of high shade, I would recommend zoysia to the customer for this yard. That's what I would recommend, because the zoysia can handle both full sun and it can handle shade. And this shade is not dense or heavy enough to where the zoysia wouldn't perform well. It would absolutely glow like a new penny. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you're, kind of just trying to decide, it's just basically sunlight. You have to figure out if your yard has enough sunlight to be able to sustain Bermuda grass. If it doesn't, zoysia might be the warm season turf for you. So I got a lot of work in the yard to do, and we'll show you what's going on out here in the next video or so. Check you later.